everybody, Elisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. I'm filming in New York City and it's going to be raining here for like the foreseeable future. And so I thought I would try to work with my lighting. Usually I wait for sunshine, but I feel like I don't know when I'm going to see the sun again. So I'm trying to come up with some kind of lighting setup that will enable me to film when it's not sunny out. So I'm trying stuff. I've got lighting jerry-rigged everywhere. So we'll see how this comes out. Hopefully this won't be a waste of time. And because when I don't get, I guess the light sensor on my iPad might not be super good, and so I need a lot of light. Otherwise my video quality is very grainy. But I just felt like I wanted to take a break from my work to make this video, because I was feeling like kind of like I needed to talk about why I bought this stuff, some of the stuff that I'm going to show. So I thought I would do a combo what's in my bag plus emotional Vera buying episode rundown. And the bag, the what's in my bag part is sort of related to it all. I went on a day trip, and this is the bag that I carried, and I have a lot of stuff in there, so I thought maybe it'd be more interesting than my typical what's in my bag. But I took a day trip down to where I used to live. I needed to get my car, and I drove my car back up to New York City. But I also wanted to visit my dogs, the two dogs that I can't have living with me right now, because I miss them very much, and that's been getting bad for me. So I went down there by train, and then I visited with them for about an hour, and then I had to hit the road going back with my car because I didn't want to get back too late, because parking is always a challenge, and I did luck out that way. I found a spot right away, even though it was late at night. But it was just very emotional for me, because not only do I miss them, but sort of makes me have to relive all the feelings I have about having to change where I'm living and how I'm living. And it was not a change that was of my initiation. I feel like it was just sort of something that happened to me, and so it's upsetting for me. And so I visited with them, and then before I hit the road to come back here, I went to the Hallmark store where I used to go and get a lot of my Vera, and back there near where I used to live, and so I just kind of had an incident there, and I was just like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna let myself buy stuff, because I almost wanted something that I could look at and say, I got this when I went to visit Peaches and Rosie that time. I don't know, I just wanted something like maybe it would be comforting for me. Sorry, I'm trying not to get emotional. I feel like I'm right on the edge a little bit. I know I get a lot of lovely comments from viewers who thank me for the videos, because they say they're helpful as far as like they were having a difficult time in their lives, and the videos were a good distraction, and I feel that really strikes a chord with me, and I'm very touched by that. It's satisfying to me that I can help people that way, because I'm not getting paid. I mean, I haven't even tried to monetize my channel, although I guess I do qualify for that, but I can't imagine that. I mean, in order to make any real money on YouTube, you gotta be some super duper influencer with, millions of followers, I think. So it's not about that, really. It's more about the community, and I appreciate all the supportive comments I get when I speak about challenges I'm having, and it's satisfied. I'm pleased that people find my videos a good distraction when they have something going on in their lives and that's stressful for them. And so makes it worth. It's another good reason for me anyway to feel like I want to continue to do the videos. But I think it's also helpful for me to have an outlet where I can like speak something out into the void, right? And some people are listening and we can commiserate and get support each other. And so this is one of those things where I just feel like I had this challenging day. Anyway, so the bag that I took on the train was a bag that I just showed in my haul video, which was the factory outlet style, the Ultralight dual strap tote. It's a lot of, all these bag names have a lot, too many words for me. And I did cut the tag off this, so I'm not sure I'm going to get the color right. So this is a solid color of that same style, and I want to say this color was something like maybe sea salt blue or something like that. But any kind of blue color is going to be appealing to me, and I'm going to look it definitely makes the bag something I'm going to consider. I don't buy every blue pattern, but I'm always interested in the blue patterns when they come out to see if there's something I'm going to want. So you can see the big quilting, the bigger diamond quilting pattern here. Maybe, I don't know if you can see a little bit better than in the other version, which had a pattern on it. And so this one will have a pattern on the lining. It's nice and wide, so I was really able to get a lot in here. I don't have anything in, oh, well, I do have napkins. Napkins from H&H Bagels. I don't know if people know about H&H Bagels. H&H Bagels used to be on the Upper West Side, right across the street from Zabar's. And they had great bagels. Not technically, probably not really authentic bagels. They didn't have the proper hard kind of texture, and maybe their dough was maybe a little bit sweeter, but they were good bagels. And every weekend you would have people line out the door, and the smell of bagels, wafting out onto the street, and people were buying bagels by the dozens. And then they did have to, I think they shut down that location. I think they had opened up another location in the city. I'm not sure. I mean, where now they've settled, if they've settled anywhere, but they have a location in the new Amtrak station. So that was new for me. I haven't taken an Amtrak train since they redid it, and now it's like the Moynihan train hall or something like that. Used to just be Penn Station. I mean, it's still Penn Station. There's still a Penn Station, but they've really redone the area where the Amtrak trains come, and so it's very nice and new and shiny there. And there's a bagel, H&H Bagel there, and I got a bagel sandwich for the train. So I had napkins in there, nothing in there, because again, these are not secure pockets. They're just big slip pockets, but good for a water bottle. I brought water, water bottle there, and I stuck it in the exterior pocket, and that's great. So I'll just start pulling stuff out, and then I can show the lining too. And in that other video, I mean, I don't know if I'll get up, if I remember to get up and stand back and show the bag on, but I do that in my other video, in the haul video that I just did with this bag. I'm sorry for the sirens. It's New York City. This ambulance. I don't know if that's an ambulance or a cop car. People are either dying or shooting each other. So in here, oh my Lord. Oh, sounds like I stopped right here. Okay, I'm gonna start and hopefully hopefully that'll be the end of that. So in here I have and I should probably just show how it basically is, because I know I made some comment in a recent video about how I don't organize stuff, and I don't. So, you know, however I shove it in there, it's going to be different every time. And so this is what it looks like. You know, just a hot mess. But it's a pretty hot mess. Either that or it's a pretty hot mess. It's a pretty, comma, hot mess. Okay, so a mini trapeze cosmetic in Dreamer Paisley, very pretty. This light is good for color. Overcast, cloudy, you know, overcast light is usually good for color, showing color. I've talked about, I have a video on this pattern. I love this pattern. And in here I just have like snack bars and things for the train. It's a handy thing, because I can put, like, I had a baggie full of like little bars from the oh, it's just a thread. Bars from the health food store, and so I had that in one side. This has a divider, a little like plastic, part of it is plastic lined on the inside, and there's like a plastic slip pocket, and then the other wall of the bag behind that slip pocket is not plastic lined, and that's where I have one, I have my bars in there, and then I just shove my other stuff on the other side, just because I could. Technically they didn't really need to be separated. They're getting along. So I had that. I had another mini, I love these mini trapeze. I love the trapeze in general, but the mini ones are very handy, and this one is in, what is this? Sunlit Garden Sage. I ordered this on the website and was not crazy about the pattern placement, but I'm keeping it because I like the pattern so much and I use these a lot. But then we'll get to my incident. But I was not happy with this pattern placement, and so that's why I felt I gave myself the okay for my incident. In here I just have charger cords and earphones and stuff like that. Also, I never remember what this thing is called. I don't know if it's a mini tech case or a mini travel case. Has a little strap you can clip and a clasp you can work, and you could attach it to stuff, I guess. I just have it loose in there, but I keep my Easy Pass in here. Yeah, I have my Easy Pass in there. I'm not one of those people who has her Easy Pass attached to her windshield. I don't do that. I don't like that. I don't like stuff sticking in my car. A turn lock wallet. I haven't shown this one before. I know I was going to try to do a video on this pattern, but I guess I'll just have to show it as I'm using this stuff. Sea Air Floral turn lock wallet. I really love this pattern. I feel like it captures the light in a seaside community, you know, very well. There's something about the light there, both in the morning and at about like 5 or 6 o'clock. There's something about this mix of like warm light from the sunset along with the cool like blue ocean tones that also, you know, affect the colors in the community. And I feel like this pattern really captures that, because it's got that warm sunset kind of feeling and lighting on these branches here, like those pinks really look like warm sunset light hitting a branch there of leaves, but yet there's like this cool light look to it also. I think it's very well done. I like these big red, orange flowers. And the whole thing has a very kind of painterly feel, like it looks like paint, oil paint or acrylic applied with a decent sized brush. Like you see brush texture in there, brush mark texture in there. So that appeals to me. The background is a very light blue. And this item is actually, these are kind of subtle pinks. This item is a little unusual. Let me see. Oh, yeah, the front part is just a solid color lining, but the lining for this particular item is also the lining for that Ikat Island. Is that the name of that Ikat, that recent Ikat pattern, the blue and white one? And not recent, it was still signature cotton, so it's a while back now. But also the Island Tile, I'm not sure I'm getting these names right, that more recent blue and white tile design have this lining, which I love this lining. Kind of reminds me of Portuguese tile work, which is very often blue and white. But I can't find this lining on any of the other Sierra floral items. They have the lining that you see in the bags, which is sort of a dainty kind of floral. I think it's got like sort of a deeper blue or navy kind of background with the lighter colored flowers on it, very tiny flowers. That's my memory. I have other things, but not with me. I mean, I can talk about this again if I show other things in this. So I thought that was unusual because I do think this really complements the outside very well. So I was pleased to see it in here, and then I went looking in my other items and they don't have this lining, although I didn't look at my cord organizer. Go look at my cord organizer at some point. But I kind of am bummed that this wasn't the, always the lining for this pattern. I don't know what happened there, why they made that change. I mean, I can't imagine it was a mistake. I don't know. My Carson cell phone crossbody and Fruit Grove. Dirty napkin. This is, oh God, I'm not gonna remember what this is. This had a strap, which I took off. The pattern is Rainforest Toile, Performance Twill. I love this pattern. I don't know what this is called. Convertible crossbody. I really have no idea what this was called. But I use it for stuff for my storage unit. That when I want to go to my storage unit, I just grab this. It has my keys, it has a little flashlight, keys for the storage unit, and so I just have everything all together. I was hoping to go to my storage unit, but I didn't have time. Anyway, I ordered this, so I didn't get from I think probably from an online outlet sale. And so I couldn't choose pattern placement. I'm always hoping to get the yellow sloth on the front. I got the gray sloth. That's a bird. My least favorite part of this is the monkeys. I mean, like, I just don't ever need a pattern with monkeys. I did get the yellow sloth on the back, so I was pleased with that. And you get it's a lizard of some kind. I do like the cheetah in this pattern. It's kind of a small item to get all of them. So, and the lining is nice in this. It's got a front zip. I have the charging cord for my flashlight. It's that nice yellow. I've talked about this pattern. I have a video on this pattern. But love that lining color. That's a good yellow. This is the yellow. This is the kind of yellow that should have been used on French hens. If people watch my recent video where I was talking about that background color in French hens, the lining, the background color and the lining of this, the yellow they should have used. More trash. Perennials gray, clip and zip with some cough drops or throat lozenges. Reader's case from my glasses in citrus paisley. This is like my least favorite reader's case, and so that's why I keep it in my bag, because I don't care if it really gets beat up. And a lens cloth and hanging around. Oh, put my glasses back. And an on a roll in Cloudvine Multi. I shouldn't show all my Cloudvine Multi stuff. More sirens. Okay. I haven't really ever talked about this pattern, I don't think, and I have a lot of stuff in it. I have a couple of I think I have 2 of these alone in this pattern because I just love it so much, and I didn't want one to wear out. I was worried one might wear out, but I'm using them both right now. Anyway, I just have like my standard, you know, hair elastic stuff and tissues and lip balms and mascara and stuff in there. Disinfectant, hand wipes, things like that in here. This is just a great version of the Cloudvine. It's a good color version of it. Very sunset-like, right? The range of colors, the blues all the way up to the, you know, the sort of hot pinks and oranges. This is a jewelry folio, zip around jewelry folio, which I am using to keep my GPS. I have some of the GPS cords in here and instructions, the instruction book that it came with it originally. Bloom Boom. This is my favorite flower in the Bloom Boom pattern. I bought this in a store back when I still had access to a signature, easy access to a signature store. That's a nice flower too. Those were the days. No more for me, and I think most people, it seems like, losing their signature stores. I wanted to get a Vera tote with this somewhere front and center, and I never could find one. I'm not buying a lot of stuff on resale sites anymore, only very rarely, and this is something I do still look for and still can't find it. A Vera tote with tags, with this flower like on the front pocket or somewhere else good on the front. I haven't seen it. And a packable tote, Penelope's Garden. My book, Bad Blood. I don't know if people are, I recommend this book. It's fast, it's going fast. I read it on the train. That was good. You know, I read for a living, so sometimes it's hard to get motivated to do recreational, what I call recreational reading. And so I really got some good reading. I got motivated on the train, and I was reading this, and it was going pretty fast. But this is I don't know if people are familiar with Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of a company called Theranos, and she's in jail now. But this is an interesting book about her sort of rise and fall and what happened with her company. So it's very interesting. She was trying to develop a different way of drawing blood and the way of doing blood tests and having people have a little bit more control and access over that. But she really didn't go about it well, and So her house of cards just eventually collapsed. But this is very well written, and it is very suspenseful. It reads very well. So I recommend that book. It's by John Carreyrou. Anyway, there's a CNN documentary on her. I think it's on the app. Like if you have the CNN app, you can find it on there. I watched it. It was very interesting, and that's where they were interviewing. One of the people they were interviewing was the author of this book, and that's what made me pick up this book. I thought, oh, he sounds interesting, and what he's discovered, you know, all the work, the journalistic work he was doing about this story was interesting, and so I decided to get the book. So I took that with me, and my trusty Fresh Direct bag in case I went to my storage unit and wanted to take some stuff with me, but I didn't go. Oh, and some mail, from my old address. And the strap that I haven't even bothered to take the paper off of, the strap that comes with this bag. I was talking in my other video about this bag. That's what happens. I don't even bother with this strap. I just leave it in the bottom of the bag. You know, like it comes hooked to one of the loops. Well, you know, one of the loops, and I just unhook it and drop it in the bag. That's the end of that. And then in the pockets here, just have my Bloom Boom Navy zip ID, and I don't remember what this was called. It was some kind of French paisley related lanyard, and my picture of Duke and my zip ID. Oh, and stuff in the other pocket. Big compact mirror. I'm running out of space here. Oh, my car keys. We're not going anywhere, Mama. Pixie's right over there off camera, and as soon as she hears the keys jangling, she's like, what else is in here? Another dirty napkin, and my lip gloss. This is a Victoria Beckham. I don't know if people have ever tried her makeup. A little pricey, but very good, and I really like her lip glosses. I have a couple of her Kohl eyeliner pencils, but I haven't tried them yet just because I've been so tired. I haven't been sleeping good, and I know the circles are kind of dark around my eyes, so I haven't wanted to sort of wear a lot of eye makeup that's going to make, you know, make that look even worse. But I imagine it's probably the pencils are I'm probably going to like them once I start using them, because I really like her lip stuff. Highly recommend it. I have in a couple of colors. Really like this stuff. Okay, this goes in my bathroom anyway. I don't carry that around with me, that particular one. And so let me just show the lining for this. Again, I think this was sea salt blue. I'm not sure, but the lining is this great pattern. And I feel like they have this pattern in an exterior now, only a different color scheme. I feel like they're calling it exuberant floral or exuberant petite floral or something like that. Sage. It's a sage kind of color scheme. This is a blue. I think it's this pattern, just different colors. If it's not this exact pattern, it's something very like this. Same kind of feel. Dense and smallish flowers, and very densely packed together. So that's nice. And the lining doesn't feel quite so slick as the exterior. The exterior feels really nylon-y, like a windbreaker kind of material, or a down jacket kind of material. But this has more of a cottony feeling. I mean, I'm sure it's a blend, but it doesn't feel like this. It's not shiny and whatever, slick like this. I don't think there's a tag in here with a fabric breakdown. It might be on the website. Although no, there's a factory outlet thing. No, I mean factory outlet store thing. It wouldn't be. It would be on the website. It would be maybe in an online outlet sale. So this I got this in the store, but I've gotten a bunch of these. Maybe two. Is two a bunch? I've gotten 2 of these from online outlet sales, and so then I guess the specs are up on the website, you know, when you have an online outlet sale, which I think that is still open. There's one still open, where I got the other bag that in this pattern in this style, but in a pattern that I just showed. But I got this in the store and another solid color in the store. I couldn't resist this. It's coming out on my screen a little bit brighter and bluer. Sorry for the honking. In person, it was very light in color, but it does have a slight aqua kind of feel to it. Like there's a little bit of green in it, but it's very subtle. I really do like it, and it's very similar to the color of I have a small Vera tote in this line, which I have yet to show. I'm going to show that for Linda. I'm going to show that soon. It's very similar in color to this, but it was just slightly different, and I couldn't resist. I had to, even though I had, you know, a similar color, I had to have all the different shades of blue, whatever they were. So that was my travel bag for the train, and I got a lot in there, and it worked really well. It was comfortable and nice and wide, and a little bit, you know, more east-west, which is what I was saying I like about this bag, so that when I have to try to find something quickly on the train, I don't feel like I'm having to dig real deep. I don't feel like stuff is getting lost down in the bottom of the bag. I felt like I could see everything and access it easily with that bag. So I was pleased with it. I'm really liking that bag a lot. It was comfortable. So then on my way, before hitting the road, but after I left my doggies, went to the Hallmark, and this Vera tote in Rose 12 was in the 50% off table, and I had a coupon. I have rewards points from that particular Hallmark chain, and so that's just like cash, and so they let you use it on, even on Vera. They let you use it on anything because they consider it cash, and so I got more off of this than just the 50%. I know it was cheaper recently on Amazon, and there was someone in the friends group that I'm in who was letting us all know that, and I don't remember who that was, but thank you. So I did go and look at it. It might have been Elizabeth. But I always, you know, I want decent butterflies, and so I always wanted to pick out something like this in person. I never wanted to take the chance. And so I paid a little bit more, even though it was still on sale. I paid a little bit more than I would have on Amazon. But I was able to make sure, you know, I got that. I just loved the front pocket with the 2 butterflies there. I feel like the butterflies here and here, not so great, because this backing piece of fabric underneath the pocket is not cut right. You know, so the butterflies are getting cut off. This one's not so bad. But I was pleased with this. That really sold me on it. And I like all the big roses, you know. It's funny because I do think this pattern is a little old-fashioned looking, but it's really growing on me. Like at first I got, the first thing I got in it was the oversized hobo shoulder bag, because I knew I would get butterflies that wouldn't be cut off. And I like that bag, but I felt like, okay, well, that's all I need now. But little by little, I've been getting more and more stuff in it, and I still feel it kind of like draw to get more stuff in it, strangely, because I do find it, you know, a little dated looking, but I just can't help myself. And this to me is not a true toile pattern. Now they're calling it rose toile, but to me this is not a true toile pattern. But these butterflies are lifted right from a vintage pattern, blue toile. People are familiar with that pattern, so that's kind of nice. I'm not sure. I don't have anything in blue toile, but I have seen it and you know, looked at vintage stuff online very closely because it's old, and so I'm always looking to see conditions, and nothing is ever new, crisp enough for me. So I'm not sure if any of the floral elements are also lifted from it. Could be. I really don't know, but I did recognize the butterflies right away. And so the back, I feel like the back has got good butterflies, and so I decided to go for it. And again, I was saying to myself, I feel sad, I feel blue. I just saw my babies, and now I have to leave again, and I only got an hour with them, and I don't know, just felt like I want to buy this, and then I'll have it, and I can say this is the thing I got when I went to see my dogs. Sorry. You know, I'm living with my dad and taking care of him, and he's getting older, and his hearing isn't as good, and he's very stubborn about it, and he doesn't want to address it. And while he's very attached to the dog I do have with me, Pixie, he totally is attached to her and enamored of her, but yet he can't really empathize with me missing my other dogs. He doesn't understand that at all. I mean, he just has this strange attitude of like, whatever, they're just dogs. So it's strange to me that he can't make that connection. I don't know if it's an age-related thing or whatever, but it just makes me feel kind of lonely here, because I really, there's no one for me to tell that to and get a comforting response from. So anyway, it just makes me feel kind of lonely. Back to the pattern. I really do like these the branches that are sort of tied to some of these flowers. Here, this, there. I really do like that. I don't have that on the front pocket. But here you can sort of see it. Sorry. And here. I like these little, you know, there's a pattern that I find very difficult to find. Occasionally you'll see a Vera tote in it online, you know, with tags, but they're hard to find. There was one that I was kind of watching. I don't remember whether it was on eBay or where it was recently, and I kind of bookmarked it, but I just decided against getting it. But it's Floating Garden. For some reason, I feel like that's one of the harder patterns to find a lot of stuff in. And I resisted getting it when it was on the website. And I think I regret that a little bit because of the blue color scheme. But I do feel like sometimes these little groupings here of flowers almost have a cartoon-like feel to them, and reminds me a little bit of the way the flowers look in Floating Garden. Almost like flowers in a classic like Disney animated movie. As this background is coming out pretty accurate. Maybe it looks in person a little bit more teal, a little bit green. There's a greener aspect to this pigment, this hue, the background color. But it is a nice, rich kind of jewel tone background color, and then there's sort of this light, all this very light line work in the background. So like I was talking about with the performance twill, when they use the shadow effect in some of the negative space, this is a nice way to add interest to the negative space without crowding the pattern too much and without fighting with the main subject of the pattern. I feel like the straps are okay. They don't create anything too awkward, overlaps that are too awkward. So yeah, so I let myself get this, and I just threw in some other stuff in here that I also got. Oh, but this I didn't. This I did. I had at the house where I used to live, and I had left it there, and I decided to take it back with me. I was thinking about returning this to the store because I just thought, well, when am I ever really going to use this? But it's such a almost like a collector's. You know, it's one of those more unique special items they come out with, like the, what was it, the little mermaid chest. I almost bought that when I was in a Hallmark one time, and I kind of regret not buying that. So I decided to keep it. I do wish they had done the proper thing and made the N backwards, but anyway, I guess I'm gonna keep it just because. I don't know, I started to see people selling them on retail sites, and I thought, I have that. That's a desirable thing. Maybe I ought to hang on to it. So the top flips open, and I haven't even unpacked the stuffing. I don't know, maybe I'll put some of my jewelry boxes or something in there for the jewelry that I wear more often. Maybe I want to keep by my bedside or something. Poo. Sorry, I have my lighting. That was the only way I could get decent lighting, so you can see it's when it hits the item when I'm moving close to it. And then they had a lot of this more sunlit garden sage, and you know, I knew I had this. I was carrying it with me, but I saw this and I was like, I didn't even pull the one that I had with me out of the bag. I was just like, I have a feeling this is so much better than the one that I ordered, and so I decided to get it, and it is much better. To me, it's much better. So I have two. I'll use them. I'm not worried about it. You can see what I'm talking about on the inside here now with the, you know, the plastic lining, and then there's this sort of slip pocket, also a piece of plastic edged with fabric, and then the other wall is just fabric. There's no plastic there. It's like a slip pocket there. And then I got this. I think I have one of these also already, but again, not a great pattern placement, and this is much better. So I was looking at the one I already had last night, and this is much better. So I'll keep the other one. I use them, but I was happy to see this there. And then I my receipt. And I had a little Squishmallow incident. I don't know, when stuff started happening in my life that was very sort of traumatic for me, and it was becoming clear that I was probably gonna have to move. Maybe just slightly before that happened, I was definitely provoked by trying to deal with some anxiety and sorrow that I had, that I sort of started getting into Squishmallows. I don't know if people know what Squishmallows are, but they are very appealing plush stuffed toys. And they come in all different sizes, from very, very big, like 20 inches high. Those are them behind me, those birds. And that little flat thing, and in the back there, that one in the back is a dragon. And so they come super big, even bigger than those, and then they come very small, including these little ones that are like bag charm clip. They have clips on them. Now, I'm not a bag charm person, although I kind of feel like there's a part of me that wants to be a bag charm person. I think I feel like a little self-conscious putting them outside. I don't know what it is about it seems a little frivolous or too playful, or I'm not sure. Or someone will make fun of me because it seems childlike. Although I see other women with stuff clipped to their bags and I don't have that reaction, you know, so I don't know why I feel self-conscious, but sometimes I'll just carry them in my bag. Anyway, I sort of went a little bit to town with buying Squishmallows for a while because I was getting more and more stressed out and I was feeling alone, and you know, like they were comforting to sort of hug and stuff. And so I have all these humongous Squishmallows, and it's, you know, hard to store them. And this is, I feel like now I'm sort of getting into the clips more because it kind of satisfies that need for them, but they're not taking up as much space, which I guess could be dangerous. So I saw 2 of these, and I had been looking at this one online at someone's, I don't know, Trudy's Hallmark or some place like that, and I didn't end up buying it. I talked myself out of it. But when I saw it in the store there, when I was buying, you know, this stuff, I thought, okay, I'll let myself get it. So this is Seth. They all have names. For people who don't know, they all have names and birthdays. And even look, so you can find a you know, there isn't a Squishmallow born yet on every day of the year, but you can find Squishmallows with your birthday. There are a couple that have my birthday, so that's always kind of fun to get the ones that have dates that are meaningful to you. I don't know if I can read this without my glasses. It looks like it's in June, his birthday. He's eating a cookie. They're very cute, you know, they're very nicely done. They're just the colors, and they have this sort of egg-like oval shape, and they do sit up on their own, even the big ones, and they're stuffed nicely. They've got most of them. I mean, there's some variety. Some of them feel a little like their stuffing isn't as dense, but some of them, they just have a very satisfying hand feel, very velvety. And this is sort of related to Vera in a way with the pattern placement, sometimes they're not just a solid color, there are patterns on there. And I've noticed that they pay attention sometimes to the pattern placement. Not all the time, sometimes it's random, like if it's a tie-dye pattern, it might be random and each one looks a little different. But sometimes when there's gradation or when there's a pattern, sometimes, and if it's like a special edition, I feel like I have one over there. Oh yeah, here, let me show this one. Like this one is supposed to be a lava light, a lava lamp. And so while they're not all exactly the same, maybe they do have a nice, you know, positioning of the lava so that it, you know, communicates well what it's supposed to be. And so I appreciate that. I feel like these are relatively inexpensive items, and yet they can sometimes, when they want to, pay attention to how the pattern, is going to fall on the item, and when it's sort of more necessary. So again, it makes me go back to Vera and say, well, other people can do it. Why aren't you guys doing it? It gets frustrating. And then I saw this one, and I just liked the color. I fell in love with the color, and she's a beet. And so, I don't know what he's supposed to be. Maybe a raccoon? I'm not sure. No, he doesn't have the right eyes. Maybe a chipmunk? I don't know what he's supposed to be. That's the thing, they're all supposed to be something, and sometimes I have trouble identifying what they are. I have to go online and ask. I'm in a Squishmallow group on Facebook. I don't always say, even in the, like, there's a little blurb about each character in there, and I don't know, you can't always tell what they are from that. I have to figure out what he is. I don't know, a little fox, maybe? I don't know what he's supposed to be. But I know that this is a beet. Claudia, she's a beet. Look at her little beet leaves. And that's embroidered on there, those little, the red parts. So, nicely done. They're very cute. Anyway, so I just sort of indulge myself a little bit. I'm trying to stay away from the bigger ones, and as I let myself get these. So that was sort of my emotional, I feel like this was an emotionally driven purchase here. Like, if I hadn't been in that state, I might not have even gone to the Hallmark, and I probably wouldn't have gotten this pattern. The lining is very pretty. You know, it's that take on that vintage pattern. I don't remember the names of these. It's a breast cancer pattern. I think this is a breast cancer pattern. Yes, this is a breast cancer pattern. Remember what this was. Return to Happiness, maybe it was called. The vintage version of this, the original version of this. I don't remember. I feel like there were a handful of patterns back in the day that kind of looked like this, but don't quote me on that. And I never remember what they're each called, but it's definitely a nod to that. Anyway, so that was it, my emotional purchase, and thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it. I know I rambled a little bit and got emotional. And also another look at the Ultralight dual strap tote in, I'm pretty sure, sea salt blue, maybe. Sure, someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I'll see how the lighting came out, and I'll determine whether I try to do another video right now. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.